Hello everyone and welcome back to UE5 BP Guru. We're going to continue on with our time manipulation series, and we're going to just concentrate on invert gravity. And by invert gravity I mean when we push this button. Oh, I've unhooked it. I can't show you that. I've unhooked it. Yeah, I have. We'll see at the end, but you saw it in probably one of the previous episodes where you kind of invert gravity and you kind of float to the top of the ceiling and you can run around on the roof of things. Yeah, so let's crack on. Okay, so we'll do the implementation of the code first, and then we'll look at how to kind of fix up your camera angles and things like that. Because what you'll notice is, without the camera fixes, you're going to have inverted camera controls, and also it's going to be upside down to the player. It all depends on what you want, but obviously I'll show you how to fix that as well. So the first thing we're going to need is to get a flip-flop. And what this does is it basically bounces between the two options. So what we need is for A to do the invert and then B to revert it, because we're always going to be in the inverted position when we start. So the flip-flop A is what's more important. If you want a sound to play, just put a 2D play sound there. But for the most part, what we're going to do is we're just going to move on and do the non-sound functionality. So what we actually want is the character movement, and we're going to set gravity direction. It's a very simple node, and we're just going to plug that in, and we're going to copy and paste this down for B as well and plug that character movement into that one as well. What we want to do is make a vector. Everything is on 0 except for the Z. So if we go to our character movement and we drag this out and we scroll down, we might have to just put in gravity. There we go. We've got a gravity direction. So to begin with, gravity is always on -1 on the Z. That means it's pushing you down. That's what keeps you on the ground, basically. But when we change this to a 1, like we do here, that's what inverts it and makes it the gravity move upwards. If we copy and paste this down, what we need to have happen now is it to return to -1. Now, doing this alone will make your character basically do a 180, like so. But you'll notice that your camera is still facing the same direction. So if I move over here, unless this is what you want, which could be a cool mechanic, you're going to need to obviously change that if you don't want that. If you want it to be like mine and have it the correct way around. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to get the follow camera. We're going to get world rotation. We're going to split this. And what we need to do is we need to manipulate the X roll. So we're going to add to it, and we're also going to take away from it. And then we just need to set the world rotation to match that. So if we split this like so, we're going to plug the Y directly into the Y and the Z, and then we're going to get this and add 180 to it and plug that into the X. Okay. We need to copy and paste this down and do the same thing with the Y and the Z. We need to minus now that X back to how it was and plug that in. We're going to create a Boolean. So again, if you don't know how to create a Boolean, just click on the plus variable and change it to, well, it should automatically come as a Boolean, but if it doesn't, change it to a Boolean and give it a name. I've already done mine. It's called gravity flipped. And we're going to set that to true on the top one. And we're going to set it to false on the bottom one. And that's all we need. It's done. Now, there's obviously some quality of life things that we're going to need to look at. Oh, don't forget to plug your follow camera into that target. That should get rid of your error. Now that that's done, you should have a working camera. There's one other step we're going to need to take, and that is to do with the actual controls themselves. But let's have a look at this now. You can see we've got the correct camera direction now when we're facing the correct direction. Like so. So we actually are looking down on everything, which I think is a much cooler direction anyway. But what you'll find, mine's already done. I'm just going to show you what I did. I'm not going to do it correctly for you guys. You can just see what I've done. But I've made some amendments here so that it fixes basically the that rotation. Because what you'll find is when you move your camera, it's going to go in the opposite direction to where you want it to go. Same for the movement. When you're moving left and right, it's going to do the opposite. Forward and backwards is always going to be the same, so you don't need to do anything with your forward and backwards. But what we do need to do is we need to basically change the scale. So what we do is we're going to ask the question, is gravity flip, which we've already done in the actual controls, in the button press. So if it's true, we need to multiply it by -1. If it's false, it's not flipped. We just keep it the same as it's already coming through. I basically created an LNR axis variable, which again, you can click the plus, change it to a float, and that you should be good to go. And then just make sure you plug that variable directly into the scale value. We can do the same thing with the camera. We'll need to do both though. So I created a camera left and right axis, and again, multiplied the X value by -1, and plugged that into the variable. And again, just plug the variable, do a get of the variable and plug that directly into the val. And for the Y value, which affects up and down, we multiply that by -1 as well. So it's all the same thing. We use the gravity flip to control all of this stuff. And that is what creates that that smooth up and down when we are in our gravity flipped segment. So again, that's why I can pull down and up and have it go the correct way, and that's why when I click left and right, it also goes the right way, because we've inverted it with that -1 multiplication. But yeah, hopefully you found this tutorial useful. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. It's free to do and will help us on our road to 10,000. And if you're watching this as a member, thank you so much for being a member, and I'll see you in the next episode. Much love. Take care. Bye.